Welcome to the podcast. Today we're delving into a fascinating piece about what the author terms the laws of spirit, universal principles that seem to transcend typical religious or cultural boundaries. Alex, the article posits these laws are as real as gravity. How does it introduce this concept of a divine will that governs our universe and personal well-being?
The article really frames it as an inherent wisdom. It suggests that if we were to meet our higher self, these are the insights we'd receive. These aren't external rules, but principles for finding peace in a complex world. The core idea is that those who align with these laws prosper, while ignoring them leads to consequences that serve as lessons on an awakening journey. Essentially, these laws reside within us, guiding us toward fulfillment.
That's an interesting starting point. One of the first laws discussed is the law of balance. How does the article define this balance, and what's its practical application in daily life beyond just a philosophy?
The article emphasizes that balance is a way of life, a constant striving for inner peace and serenity by constantly returning to our center. Practically, this means paying attention to ripples in our body or life, signals that we're doing too much or too little in areas like eating, exercise, or work. The text clarifies that self-centeredness isn't selfishness. Finding our own center actually empowers us to make a difference. The fastest way to achieve this, it suggests, is through overcorrection, deliberately doing the opposite of old habits to find the middle ground.
So it's an active practice, not just a passive state. Following balance, the article introduces the law of choice, stating that decisions are made with actions, not just words. This also brings up the idea of taking too much responsibility for others. Could you expand on that?
Absolutely. The article highlights that most decisions stem from subconscious wisdom. Regarding others, it's a crucial distinction. While those in pain need compassion, carrying their weight robs them of their strength and self-respect and the lessons they need to learn from their own choices. The power of choice is fundamental. It asserts that until we fully grasp our power to say no, we can't truly say yes. When life shifts from an obligation to a blessed opportunity through this clean intention, that's where transformative change happens.
That's a powerful point about empowerment. Many people struggle with achieving their goals, often abandoning them when obstacles arise. The article then presents the law of process. How does this law offer a solution to that common challenge?
The law of process is nature's assurance that any lofty goal can be achieved by breaking it into small, short steps. The analogy used is like throwing a stone at a tree. Start close, then step back, rather than attempting it from a distance. Skipping steps, the article warns, inevitably leads to getting hurt. It stresses that lasting progress isn't dramatic, but built hour by hour, day by day. The key is choosing a goal that genuinely shines to you, creating a process that yields many small successes, and patiently building a strong foundation, much like constructing a house. Persistence, not just initial enthusiasm, reaches the goal.
So consistent small steps are more effective than grand, infrequent gestures. The article then introduces a cluster of laws: presence, compassion, faith, and integrity. These seem to focus more on internal states. Can you quickly touch on the essence of each?
Certainly. The law of presence asks us to live solely in the now, free of judgment, recognizing that there are no enemies, only teachers in the natural world. The law of compassion commands us to transcend our limited perspectives. Faith, in this context, isn't about external belief, but experiencing wonder and mystery, trusting that spirit works through us, and that difficulties are tests. And the law of integrity is about being completely authentic, accepting who we are, rather than pretending to be someone else. As Gandhi said, "My life is my teaching. It's about living our highest light."
These are profound internal shifts, but how do these laws translate into tangible results? That leads us to the law of action. The article states you can't eat good intention. What does it mean by that?
It means intentions, however pure, are meaningless without action. Action is what brings potential to life and cultivates wisdom through practice. Turning ideas into action requires energy, sacrifice, and heart, because it inherently involves risk. It's better to do what's best than to have a good excuse for not doing it. Courage, the article reminds us, can only be shown in the face of fear, by taking the risk to be different. It also cautions that every law contains seeds of its opposite, so we must listen to our heart to know when to pause and when to act.
That balance between action and pause brings us to the final law discussed, the law of cycles. How does this concept of natural rhythms inform our journey through these spiritual laws?
The law of cycles recognizes the constant change in the natural world, seasons, day and night, rising and falling. It teaches us that just as seasons change, so must we. We need to embrace each season for its unique gifts, understanding that doors open and close in their own time. It's about knowing when to act and when to wait, acknowledging the inherent ebb and flow of life. The wonderful phrase, "and this too shall pass," perfectly encapsulates this law, reminding us of the impermanence of all things and the importance of adapting.
Alex, this has been a comprehensive look at these laws of spirit as presented in the article. It really emphasizes an internal, action oriented approach to finding peace and fulfillment, rather than relying solely on external dogma. Thank you for breaking it all down.